Okay, so a couple common protocols here. GSM, which is the world's most widely used, this is FDMA plus TDMA. And this is worldwide. It's the world's most widely used cell phone standard, provided by only one company in Canada, which is that, Rogers. So if you own a cell phone or if you own an iPhone like I do, you're stuck with Rogers.
Or Fido.
Or Fido, but they're the same company. The other one is IS-95, and that is CDMA. And it tends to, this is much less used, and it tends to only be found in North America. And I think also a bit in Asia. But GSM, you can pretty much go anywhere in the world and use your GSM handset. So after 2G, you'll notice I did not say anything at all about data. After 2G, after the first digital voice systems came out, people started thinking about, okay, so for one thing, digital voice came out in '91. At the time, people weren't thinking too much about data services. So shortly thereafter, it became rather interesting to think about serving data to your cell phone. So in the mid-90s, web browsers became a big deal. Email became a big deal, and so people started thinking about, well, what about data services? So we don't jump directly from 2G to 3G. In between, we have something called 2.5G. And that is basically packet switch data. Under that heading, we've got a couple of protocols. One is called GPRS, which is for Global Packet Relay Service. And this is basically for low speed packet switch data. And it can support data rates in the range of about 56 to 114 kilobits per second. The other protocol, which I can't remember what it stands for right now, is EDGE. Yeah, I think the G stands for GSM, but I can't remember exactly how. Yeah, evolved, blah, blah.
It's Dragon Ball Tiger or something.
That's right. That's right. This is slightly higher speeds. I've even heard people call EDGE 2.75G, whatever that means. But in any case, that's right. So that's basically the introduction of data services served to mobile handsets. Subsequent to that,
What's the one that they use, the EVDO?
EVDO,
Probably similar to Edge.
CDMA version.
This is the CDMA version of Edge, that's right. That's right. Some people argue that Edge is extensible and it has been extended to the point where it can achieve relatively high data rates. Some people argue that Edge and EVDO are 3G protocols. But they're 3G in the sense that they can achieve similar speeds, but there is an official 3G internationally recognized standard, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. So third generation. That's what we're looking at right now. This is high-speed data. First deployments around 2001. Actually did not look up where the first one was, but it was most rapidly taken up in Japan. it's only been quite recent that we've been able to get access, or fairly widespread access to 3G in North America. Excuse me. Data rates in the range from 348.
It's Japan.
Pardon me?
It's Japan.
Japan. Okay. In the range from 348 to 1440 kilobits per second. Excuse me, 14,400 kilobits per second. The specification requires 3G services to be able to serve 348, at least 348 kilohertz to mobile terminals moving at highway speeds. The 14.4 megahertz maximum. That's for a device that's sitting still. So remember back to the very beginning of the course when we talked about physical layer, that devices in motion, there are problems with the Doppler frequencies. There's problems with additional fading. So that's why this lower speed is for devices actually in motion, because that's a more challenging environment. And the internationally agreed standard for official 3G is called IMT 2000. That's basically an umbrella for about 5 other different standards that each do different things. Okay. Companies are currently looking at 4th generation. And companies and standards organizations are currently looking at 4th generation for intended deployment around 2010. The intention is to get somewhere between 100 megabits per second up to 1 gigabit per second in the downlink.
Because I just can't get enough videos on my cell phone.
Well, the idea, okay, so I just did a bit of reading about this today, actually. The idea is HDTV to the mobile.
And we haven't talked about voice in 2.5 generations now.
That's right. Well, voice is over. So
no one's
yeah.
going to talk anymore.
Exactly. So yes,
You can also use a cell phone as an app.
you could use it. I mean, if you've got a gigabit per second to your cell phone, you can use that for, that's a serious networking device. So part of 4G, there's a relationship between 4G services, which are still nebulous, but the idea is to combine it with what's called WiMAX. You've heard of WiMAX. So WiMAX is the wireless version of DSL. WiMAX is intended to give you a wireless high-speed broadband link to your home. So the idea is to combine this with WiMAX, and then you can not only have DSL wherever you are, but you can also move around and still have DSL. So, I don't know. So, editorializing, everyone thought we were going to be using 3G everything in about 2003. That's really not how it happened, because it turned out people didn't need that much data. Now, if you start talking about HDTV to your mobile, I didn't bring my iPhone, but screens like this, right? So, is everybody going to be carrying around these huge? So that's my editorial opinion.
The entire pirate page is posted on a cluster of cell phones on
That's right. But that's just my opinion. So anyway, next time we're going to start talking about GSM.